everybody. It's Mother Theresa. It's 7:03 Tuesday night. It's time to grandstand. We're going to play a little bit of In the Meantime to give you time to go get your favorite snack, your favorite beverage, and then join me as we grandstand on tonight. Also, I need you to share that Mother Theresa is live. All right. You still got time. Share this on your friends page. Mother Theresa is live on tonight. This is such good music. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. It's Mother Theresa here. Listen, it is Tuesday night, 7:05. It is time to grandstand. If you've gotten your favorite snack, you've gotten your favorite beverage, which of course mine is water. Remember I told y'all last week you need to be drinking your water and minding your business. Listen, send this out to a couple of people. Tell them that Mother Theresa is on tonight and you need to step on over here and see what she's talking about, okay? All right, let's get started, everybody. First of all, I hope that you all had an amazing week since the last time that I saw you all. And I always feel really kind of whatever when I say this because the week is actually just getting started, but it's been 7 days since I did my last Facebook live stream. But it just seems like somebody says, hey, grandstanders. It just seems like it's at the beginning of the week, and sometimes it's like, oh my goodness, you all haven't had a chance to really enjoy your week. But it's been 7 days since we were together. So anyway, but this is what I want to say. It doesn't matter if it's been 7 days or whatever. I am just glad to see you all here on tonight. Let me get everything set up for me so I can hear and see who is actually on so I don't miss any of your comments in case you're talking to me. Hey, Miracle. Hey, Mama. And hey, honey. If there's anyone else on here, you've got to speak to me so I'll know that you're here. Otherwise, I don't know that you're here. All right. So listen, on tonight, first of all, there's been a lot of things that have happened since the last time that we have been together. But, and I hope that everybody is doing well, that everybody is doing okay. And my family and I, we're good. We're doing fine. And I hope that's same for your family. Listen, you all, we're going to be talking about tonight friendships. And I mentioned this the other day when I was doing my TikTok live. Let me just tell you all, the people that are on here, you know, this is not the only platform that I'm on. I'm not only on Facebook, but I'm on TikTok and YouTube, Instagram. You all follow me on those other platforms. If you're not a subscriber, listen, you all should be. I need you all to be subscribers to every place that you see me on social media. And the other thing is that what I do, just because I want to make sure that everybody is having an opportunity to enjoy what I'm sharing with you all on grandstanding. What I do with our grandstanding from Tuesday night is I take it and then I make it into little clips, which are just short minute clips or 30-second or 60-second clips that play throughout the course of the week. And it's some of the highlight reels from my Tuesday night session. So if you're seeing me every single day at 8 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock noon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then 10 p.m. Listen, I want you to see my face so much throughout the course of the week. You're going to see me at least 4 times a day, 7 days a week. So you're going to probably, when you see me, you're going to probably say, hey, that's that other Mother Thresa. That's the other Mother Thresa. And it's by design. What I do realize as I am sharing with you all, and as I've been doing this now for well over a year, is that I realize that not everybody has the time to sit down and watch a 1 hour or a 30-minute live stream. And because I know, at least I feel like I am sharing quite a bit of good content with you all, I want to make sure that you're getting little snippets of it. And so with this 30-second and 60-second little snippets that you're seeing on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and all of those different things, those are really just little snippets. So it's picking up those highlights and then it's pushing it out. And let me tell you all, we may only have maybe less than 10, less than 20 people that are actually watching here, but I am getting thousands of views on the other when I'm pushing it out like that. So sometimes it's surprising to see how many people are actually watching and commenting. So if that is one of you, if you are the ones that's watching and seeing some of this content on the other platforms, thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you all for commenting. Thank you all for then sharing and following and doing all of those different things. 4 times a day, my Lord, you're absolutely right, honey. 4 times a day, you're seeing my face come across this platform. And that is by design. It's by design because I don't want you to miss anything that I am sharing with you. I want you all to see, Ebony, what I am talking about, what I am sharing. And so if you are tuned in or if you're seeing me, Miracle, Ebony, and everybody that's on here, are you all seeing me throughout the course of the day? And let me ask you, if you are, put some comments in this chat and let me know, is it helpful? You know, is it helping you? Or is it something that when you see me coming on, you're like, there's that lady again. There's Mother Thresa. I wonder what she's talking about. Or, oh, it's good information. And you actually stop and listen. And I just want to know, those little 30-second videos or reels, are they helpful? Are you seeing them? And do you actually listen? And is it more convenient to hear a 30-second reel or 60-second reel versus stopping and listening for a full 30 to 45 minutes? You all help me out because as I am growing and as I am developing, basically, I need your feedback. I need your feedback to let me know, hey, keep going, keep doing this, or you know what? That's enough. My husband said, my Lord, is what he actually said about 4 times a day. But let me just tell you, I did have a testimonial. I actually got a couple before we talk about friendships that fade. um, Testimonial from some of my YouTube subscribers or watchers. One of the testimonies that I heard, Mom, is that a lady was saying that when I was talking about childhood trauma and things like that, she was saying that the information that I had just shared, she was like, this is what I needed to hear on today, because it helped her to be able to make a decision of something that she needed to do, or maybe it was something that she was going through and how she needed to handle it. And I often say this is that when I am speaking, when I am talking, I don't necessarily know who the information is um, who it's for. Thank you, Ebony. She said, yes, ma'am, you're seeing it. Okay. All right. All right. Good. Who's actually seeing the information and who it's actually for. But I do know that if I am sharing the information, thank you, Miracle. Thank you, Eb. These are y'all, listen, these are my nieces. These are my beautiful nieces. And I am a much older woman. And you all, my nieces, they come on here and they listen to me, and they are so very encouraging. And I just want to say, Miracle and Ebony, I appreciate you all so very much. You all don't know how this makes me feel for you all to be so supportive. And so I thank you. I thank you so very much. You all make me feel so good. Hello there, my kind of May. And so and that's my granddaughter. She's in her 20s, and matter of fact just celebrated her 23rd birthday, and she comes on and she listens. You all don't have to do this. I mean, you all do not have to spend your time listening to me, but I appreciate it. I appreciate every time that I look on here and I see my mama, that my mama is usually the one of the first ones to log on. And so my mama is listening. And Mom, I'm not sure if Jamarlin is there with you, but Mom, is it helping you any? The things that I'm talking about, and you all have to remember, my mom told me not too long ago that I talk so much. She doesn't know where I get all of this stuff, and I can just talk and talk and talk. And you're absolutely right, Mom. But is it helping you, Mom? Is this something that is it beneficial to you and all of that? You are so welcome, Aunt Theresa. Look forward to listening to you. Thank you so much, Miracle. So I just want to know, is it helpful? Is it helpful? And I'm going somewhere with this because one of the things that I do realize, first of all, I realize that God has given me a gift. God has given me a gift of encouragement. He's given me the gift to comfort others. And I say that because even in the scripture, it says, just as he has comforted us, that we can comfort others. Okay. We can comfort others. And I take that. And when I found that scripture, it let me know that what I'm doing is biblical. It's just a gift that God gave me. And I'm not saying every single time that I open my mouth that it's words of encouragement, because it's not. But I try to make sure that I am operating in the gift that God has given me. And I challenge each and every one of you all to find your gift. Find the gift that God has given you and then operate in the gift. Be a blessing to other people, because what God has gifted us, it should be a blessing to others and not a burden. Okay. So find out what your gift is and begin to operate. Walk in the calling and the gifting that God has given you. And when you do that, I know for sure that you will feel fulfilled, because I most definitely do. So as I was talking, and I'm going to get back onto this a little bit. Oh, what I was sharing is that I'm going somewhere with this, because one of the other things that God has given me is to share words of encouragement with people every single day. And I've been hinting with this. And what has come to into fruition is something that has been birthed in my spirit, is called Get Soul Notes. So I am saying Get Soul Notes. And what that is, it is a text based project where you will receive a text or a email from me every single day, and I am still working on putting it together. I am actually building the program, building the platform, but you all, it is coming soon. So and it's three different words, but they are all together, and it just says Get Soul Notes. It is coming soon, and I will be sharing that with you all. It is not free. No, it's not. It will cost you just a little bit of money per month, but you will get words of encouragement from me every single day delivered to your cell phone. Okay, so I'm excited about it. More to come, but I just wanted to give you all a little heads up that it's actually coming. So you don't have to just wait for Tuesday nights. You can actually get it every single day. All right, you all, let's talk about something that I shared with some of the people that were on TikTok with me earlier in the week. Friendships. And so tonight I'm going to talk about friendships that fade when you outgrow who you used to be. But I also want, thank you, honey. And all of that is that's Get Soul Notes. And he spelled it out individually, but when you see it, it's going to be all together. Get Soul Notes. But thank you, honey. That's what you're going to be getting really, really soon. I'm actually going to be giving away a couple of subscriptions. And so, some of my faithful listeners that's here with me on tonight, you may get something from me, and I may send it to you and let you all just kind of be my test subjects so we can then share it with other people. Okay. So I was sharing with my husband and with my TikTok people that about some of my childhood friends, and it was you all growing up in the projects. You all know that I grew up in the projects. Very proud to grow up in the projects. Nothing at all to be ashamed about, because like I said, that's what helped to build me and mold me to who I am. It also gave me an opportunity to see people, and not only just see them with my eyes, but to see them with my heart. And to see them with my heart made me want to figure out, what can I do, even as a little girl? What can I do for the community in which I live in so they will be better? So they will be better. Just think about it. If 50 years ago, that I had something like Get Soul Notes, that was, of course, we didn't have cell phones back then. But even if somebody would have spoken a word of encouragement to me every single day of my life, you all, I think I'm a fantastic, wonderful, uniquely made individual. But what else could I have been if someone outside of my home would have spoken a word of encouragement to me every single day? You all think about that. And especially Miracle and Ebony, who are on here with children still in your home. Are you speaking those words of affirmation and encouragement over your baby's lives every single day? If you're not, then get started. It's not too late. Even if your children are adult children, it is never too late to speak words of affirmation. In the Bible, it talks about blessing your children, that how the fathers would bless their children, especially their firstborn sons, how he would speak the blessings over them and how it would impact their lives. Well, you all, nothing has changed. We've got to continue to speak the words of affirmation and encouragement and blessings over our children's lives every day. Every time you see them, it is okay to tell them, hey, you're doing a good job. I am so very proud of you. I am so very proud of the young mama that you have become. And I say that to my nieces that are on here. I look at how you all are raising your children, and you all are doing a wonderful, wonderful job. You all are at the age and the stage that we were when we were growing up, when we were young moms, and we would come over to moms, and we had our kids. And now, of course, you all were children then. And now to see that you all, it's the next generation, you all, Miracle and Ebony, you all are the next generation. And so, Mom, as you are listening on tonight, you have your at least 2 generations and possibly 3, if Jamarlin is listening. And you all, that is legacy. But that is almost unheard of. That is almost unheard of. And when I talk about having a rich, proud heritage and legacy, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And so I appreciate my family. I appreciate you all more than you all will ever know. But let me tell you all about those friendships. So my husband and I, we were talking. This is one of my daily to-dos. I have to get better with it. Absolutely, Miracle. Thank you so very much. Yes, yes. Put it into practice. Make sure that you're doing it. And guess what? As you do it to your babies, guess what? Then your babies will then do it to theirs. And they'll do it to other people. They will share it with other people. So the other night, I had came home from work and I was tired. So I took a nap, and actually I took a nap, and it was a long nap because I probably went to sleep at about 6 o'clock and slept until 12. And so when I woke up at 12 o'clock, it was like, okay, let me go to the restroom. Let me get some water. And I think I had a bowl of fruit. And then it was time to go back to bed. Hey, Tina, I'm so glad that you're with me on tonight. And so, but my husband had came to bed, and I don't know how we got on this subject, but we began to talk about our neighbors, the Clemens. And growing up in Oak Hill Plaza, we lived in the upstairs apartment, and the Clemens lived in the downstairs apartment. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the Clemens family. And the Clemens family was a mother and a husband, and the mom was a devoted Christian woman, and Miss Aline Clemens, and her husband was Mr. J.C. They had 5 children, I think: Sherry, Donald, Cassandra, Reggie, and the youngest son was Tracy. And if any of the Clemens family hear this, listen, I want you all to know that you all were the absolute best neighbors ever. I would not have traded you. I wouldn't trade you all for anything, because the laughter that we had between this family, by us visiting this family, was still to this day, it just does something great to my heart. But they were very comical. They were a family who really enjoyed laughing together. They were a very devout Christian family. And Miss Aline was always at church. And this is one of the things that I shared with my mom, and I think I've shared with other people. When I say she was the embodiment of a holy woman, and I didn't know that at the time, but as I grew older, I could look back and say, if I never knew anybody who I felt like embodied the Spirit of God, it was Miss Aline Clemens. And very sweet woman, very, very sweet woman. And not a whole lot of, nothing fancy about her. She was just a good, wholesome Church of God in Christ lady. And she carried herself like a Church of God in Christ lady that was full of the Spirit and the love of God. And her children, especially Cassandra and Sherry, those were my friends. Those were the young ladies that I grew up with. And when I tell you, they kept me laughing. And I'm going to share something with you all. Of course, you all, we are grown, we are adults now, but these are things that we did when we were children. And so I was sharing with my husband that Cassandra and I, we would get on the phone. We would grab a phone book, you all. You all know back in the day. Now, of course, my young people, my youngsters over here on here, they don't know anything about this. But the phone books used to would have the husband and the wife's name in the phone book together, along with their address and, of course, their phone number. So what Cassandra and I would do, and probably, well, I'm not going to pull anybody else in it. I'm just going to say Cassandra and I. What we would do is we would get the phone book, you all, and Cassandra had a very gruff voice. Sometimes you did not know if Cassandra's voice could sound like she was a guy, or then it could be very high pitched. She just had a very unique voice. She has a very unique voice. So Cassandra, we called her San. If you ever see this, I'm definitely talking about you. But San had she just could make you laugh. So we would grab that phone book, and we would grab the phone book, and what we would do is that we would pick out people's names, different people's names that had a husband and a wife. And it would not be people that lived in our neighborhood. A lot of times it would be people who maybe lived on Regay Street or in the Regay area. So that was not in our neighborhood. And Cassandra would call, and whoever would answer the phone, especially if it was a woman who answered the phone, she would get on the phone and she would say, if their names was Sandra and Larry, she would get on the phone and she would say, especially if Sandra answered the phone, she would say, is Larry there? And the person may just kind of like, this is the wife. And the person may say, who is this? And she would say, is Larry there? And the conversation would go on. And then she would say, tell Larry these babies over here need some diapers. Or tell Larry these babies have ran out of milk. And she would say it just like that. And you all, she would keep a straight face. And then all of a sudden you could hear the person on the phone beginning to say, Larry, Larry. It would be so funny because what Cassandra was doing, she would just say, these babies over here, they done ran out of milk. Or these babies over here, they need diapers. Me and Larry got 5 kids over here. And it would be so funny, you all. It would just crack me up. And sometimes she would do it without even she would never break stride. She wouldn't break character. She would just go on and on talking to this lady about this relationship that she had with her husband. And this lady would just be whatever, or God forbid if Larry answered the phone. She would then start talking to Larry and say, where have you been? Why you hadn't been over here to see me and these kids? And of course, Larry was like, who is this? Who are you trying to call? I don't know who you are. It would be hilarious, you all. And I cannot go into character like Cassandra. But let me just tell you, we would just fall out laughing. We would be giggling so much. My husband is standing outside the door. Listen, when I was telling my husband this, and of course I had gotten into character at 12 o'clock in the morning, and I was trying to talk just like Cassandra, and you all, literally, my husband had to get up out of the bed. He laughed so hard. It was that good old belly laugh that it just comes deep from in your soul, in your spirit. And he laughed so much. And let me just tell you, first of all, that's not the only thing that me and Cassandra did. Mama, I know you're hearing this, and I'm confessing, and I'm just telling you what we were doing on the phone. But listen, not only would we do that, you all, not only would we do that, but we had neighbors across the street. And I won't say who the neighbors are because they are friends of mine on Facebook. And so when I tell you all what we did, don't send me a nasty message. We were just kids being kids, you all. But we would call and we would order pizza. Now, how many of you all know people are ordering pizza in the projects? And that was so long ago. But we would call and we would order 10, 12, 15 pizzas. And we would order them for our neighbors that lived directly across the way. So you all know who you are. And then we would get in the windows and we would watch. We would just be peeping. We would just be peeping for the pizza person to come and deliver those pizzas. Let me tell you all, that is probably the reason why at that time it may have been Mr. Gaddy's or whatever. We were probably the reasons that they stopped delivering pizza in the projects. I'm telling you all, it was probably because of Cassandra and Thresa shenanigans that we were doing back in the day. Yes, Miracle, we were terrible. We were terrible. We would get up in the window at nighttime and we would, of course, you had those screen windows. And so we would turn off the lights and we would see people that would be walking up and down in the projects, and they would just be walking. And we would just be yelling crazy things out the window at them. And of course, they couldn't see where it was coming from. So they didn't know who was yelling at them. But we would just be yelling crazy stuff. Now, we didn't use profanity, so we were not cursing, but we would just be saying crazy stuff and just yelling out the window until somebody would walk in the room and flip that light on, and then the people could see us in the windows, and we would just be ducking down like, don't turn that light on, turn that light off, turn that light off. You all, let me just tell you, when you think about your childhood friends, I hope that you have memories like I had with Cassandra Clemens and Sherry Clemens. Those were some of my best friends growing up in Oak Hill Plaza. But sometimes friendships fade. And sometimes we maybe outgrow one another. Sometimes we just move. Sometimes why aren't we talking about you chasing the ambulances and reporting back? We talked about that last week, Candace. That's what me and Cassandra did too. So that we were terrible with that, you all. And I shared with you all last week that's what we did. Me and San, we would hear the ambulance or the police, and baby, you could not beat us running to see where they were going, who they were picking up, who they were arresting. And guess what? We came back and we reported every single thing to the people that were our parents and our whoever would listen to us. We would come back and report it. But you all, if you did not have friends like that growing up, you all missed something special, because I know that Cassandra and Sherry brought out so much laughter for me and my sister Cynthia and whomever. And, I talk about the friendships that fade. Now, my brother Bruce and Donald were close friends. And this was back, like I said, I'm 61 years old. We moved in Oak Hill Plaza when I was probably younger than 10 years old. And I stayed in Oak Hill Plaza until I got married, until I was 20. So, and as a young child, we were friends for all of those years. Now, they didn't live there as long as, well, I don't know if they lived there as long as we did. But anyway, what I was about to say is that my brother and Donald have maintained their friendship all of these years. So there are friendships that fade and there are friendships that last a lifetime. And so on tonight, as we're talking about friends, you did what? Yes, Shekinah, I did that stuff. I'll have to tell you more about it when I see you in person. You know, we've had some people that are our friends, and sometimes when we are growing up, sometimes we grow apart. And it's not because you no longer want to be the friends of the people that you had as young people, as when you were, children. Sometimes it's the distance. But sometimes it really is that you just grow apart because some of the things that you are now into, you just don't have those things in common. Now, I'm not talking about that from the standpoint of our relationship with the Clemens family. I just use that because that was a great example of a friendship. Uh, Miracle said, my mom just called her and said that she can't believe that she can't believe that Cassandra and I were doing this and that she's going to get us when she sees us. Oh my goodness. Yes, mama, we did every bit of that. Every bit of what I just said and probably some more because that's what we did. That, mama, I own it. I definitely own it. We did it. We most definitely did. We did that. We did that. Yes, yes, yes. I can only imagine that there were a lot of husbands and wives that after they received a phone call from Cassandra and Thresa, that there was a whole lot of discussions that was happening in that house on that night. Yes, indeed. Larry had to do a lot of explaining about why this person who evidently was probably a different hue than what he was calling his house and saying that he had five children that needed some diapers and some milk. Absolutely. Yes, yes, mama, we did it. We did it. Yes, we did it. Thank you, Miracle, for sharing. Tell mama I'll call her later. But let me just going back to friendships, you all, and I know I have talked way more than what I had anticipated. But let me just say, every friendship has a season. And just like some seasons last seemingly for a lifetime, there are other friendships or seasons that do not last for a long time. Some of our friends were just for our childhood. Sometimes we develop friends when we are in high school. I can remember that I had certain friends that I was in high school that lasted only during those high school years. I can also recall that I developed some really good friendships when I was working. And while I was working at that particular location, we were excellent friends. But then we also have friendships that we develop and they last for, it seems like forever. Okay. It seems like forever. And I want to also remind you that that is okay, that not everything is meant to last a lifetime. And I think sometimes what happens is that we feel some kind of way when some of our friendships end and we feel like we've got to stay connected with them, that we've got to stay connected, even though sometimes you may feel drained, you may feel no longer connected with those friends. You may feel like, hey, this is not the person that I really want to be connected with. You may have some unresolved issues that you can't seem to resolve, but because they're your friend, you put up with it. Okay? You may have some friendships that it served its purpose for a while, but now it's like sometimes you discover that you really don't even like that person. And that may be a hard thing to say, but sometimes we are in relationships or friendships with people that we really don't even like them. We don't like them like that. And what we do is we put up with them. We tolerate them. And just the same way that I'm saying that we tolerate them, some of them are just tolerating us. They don't really like us like that. But because we had a strong connection at one point, it's like neither one of the two parties can separate. And I'm here to tell you tonight that it's okay. It is okay to not be so close or be in a friendship with someone that is not good for you. And you may say, well, but think about it. There are some times in the directions that your life has taken that you're going in one direction, and you may have used to be, a person who did all sorts of mean or illegal or things that you no longer want to be associated with. But because you have a friendship with that person, you feel like you are obligated. Well, let me just tell you, you are not obligated to stay connected with people. You know, you're not. And give yourself permission to break that friendship. Now, let me just tell you, there is a way of navigating the shift with grace and wisdom. Okay? You don't want to, the new word that I hear people say is you don't want to just ghost your friends, but you don't owe anybody an explanation. But you do owe yourself a peace of mind. Let me say that one more time. You don't owe anybody an explanation, but you do owe yourself a peace of mind. And if your relationship that you have with someone is causing you to not have peace, then that means that you need to move around. You need to do something about that. You need to end that relationship. And it's okay. You can let go of that relationship without gossip. You can disconnect from them without having any drama. You don't necessarily need to do that. You don't need to create a some what they people used to call it a hot mess. You don't need to create a hot mess in order to separate from somebody. You don't need the drama. Most of you all, everybody I think that's on here is an adult. So, and I'm more than likely, I know my people that typically listen to me are adults, 45 to 65 years old, 35 to 65 years old. So you don't need to create drama in order to disassociate yourself from somebody. Okay? I said, don't ghost them, honor them. Say what you need to say if you feel like you need to. Say it with love and be done. Okay? Say it with love and be done with it. Again, you don't want the confrontation. You just need the closure. Okay? You just need to close it, close that chapter in your life, close that book in your life, and be able to move on. And sometimes, you all, what happens, and I've shared this with my girls before, is that sometimes God will begin to prune the relationships that you have with other people, because the people that you've been hanging around with, they're causing you not to be able to come in connection or come in, I would say, a spiritual connection with other people. Because sometimes the people that we have that we are still hanging out with, you all, some of the people that really need to be in your life, when they are seeing the types of people that you're hanging around with, they're like, oh no, I thought this person was this, but they're hanging out with these people. So sometimes it is your people that you are associated with that can actually stop relationships that God really intend for you to be in relationship with. So y'all think about that. Okay. Some of us need to understand that as I was talking about seasons and how they change, that when you're entering into a new season and you're growing, that there are some things that when you're growing, you're pulling off some of the things that you used to do. You're shedding some of the things that were once a part of you or that you don't want to be aligned with anymore. And that is okay. That is okay. That's called growth. That's called maturity. And as we are growing and maturing, as we are walking this thing called life, that's what should be happening. We should be growing. We should be maturing. We should be making ways for new alliances and new friendships and new things that God has designed for you. And sometimes, excuse me, sometimes that may mean that you've got to be able to pull off some things or put away some relationships or some friendships that are not doing you any good. And again, I said that sometimes we feel like that we cannot let go of people simply because they've been my friend for 20 years. Okay. Letting go means you don't have to be bitter. You don't have to be bitter about it. You can have an adult an adult conversation if you feel like you need to speak the piece. Um, yes, yes, I know that you are. Um, you are. I cannot pronounce your name, but I do know that you are a regular on my channel, and I will talk to you a little bit about that. Okay, to talk about our targeted audience. Thank you. Um, but yes, so when you are cutting the strings again with your some of your maybe your childhood friends, do it with grace and do it with wisdom, and don't let it be awkward. Don't let, because it doesn't have to be. You don't have to have a falling out. And see, and that's what a lot of times what happens is a lot of times people end their friendships because a big nasty mess has happened. You've gotten into it, you've fallen out, you've said some harsh words to each other, and you swear that you're never going to talk to them again. And a lot of times you don't. And every time you see them, you roll your eyes at them, but you got to remember that used to be a person that you would confide all of your business to. That was your best friend. And yes, a lot of times something may happen where there is a betrayal of your friendship. And there are some reasons why you definitely need to get out of those relationships. But I do believe that before that big blow up happens, that there had been little signs that you needed to end this friendship. But because you felt so connected and obligated that you did not heed those signs. You did not heed those warning signs. But again, before I get off of here tonight, I'm letting you know that it is okay to walk away and to release some friendships that you all have. And some of you all that are still on here that are listening, you all know if I ask you to really, really think about it, really think about who are some people that you know that were friends, either childhood friends, work friends, church friends, just friends from the neighborhood, but you already know that you need to be cutting the ties with those people. I see a lot of hearts going up right now. So that means that I'm somebody is like, yes, you're definitely talking to me. And so if you know that there are some people that you need to separate yourself from, I'm going to ask that you get it done. Okay? Get it done. Do it with grace and wisdom. If you need to have a civil conversation with this person, Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and have that conversation with them and just let them know, you know what? I enjoyed our friendship when we had it, but I'm going in a different direction. And I feel like it's time for us to just go our separate ways. However you do it, pray about it, ask God to guide you, and just do it. Okay? Just do it. Just do it. It is absolutely okay. You are allowed to grow and to change and to evolve. And guess what? So are the other people. Because, see, you may be the person that they need to let go. See, I'm talking about us right now, but there may be some of your friends that feel the same way about you. And you have to be okay with that. That, you know what? You know that somebody is on a totally different path that you're on, and you may be the person that they're saying, hey, I can't hang out with Thresa anymore. She's totally different. She's not doing the things that I'm connected with. So I've got to let her go. And that is okay. That is okay. So as we are wrapping up tonight, I just want to say to you all that there are some things that are in my stand store that I know that would be a blessing to you and for you. If you want to go to the other Mother Theresa stand store and pick up some of those things, I do have some freebies in there, and I've got some other things in there. But I want you all to utilize some of the free inventory or the freebies that I have that may be helpful for you on this journey that you're walking today. And not only the journey that you're walking today, but even the journey that is ahead of you all. Because when you get ready to start releasing some things and some people out of your lives, guess what? That gives you more time for yourself, more time for you to figure out who you are. Okay. And that's what I'm all about, is trying to figure out who you are, who is the best person that you can absolutely be. So I want to just close on tonight with just saying, God, I thank you for everybody that's here on tonight. And I want to thank you for everybody who's been a part of my life in the past, in the present, and who will be in the future. And God, give me to know the seasons in my life and in your life, okay, of what's next, of what you need to do next, and the grace to let go of the people who are not a part of that, okay? Heal every heartbreak, heal everything that has been broken, restore every boundary, and fill the empty spaces with divine connections. Because we know that, first of all, God has some divine connections that He wants us to walk in. And I just want to say on tonight, I know I started out talking about a whole lot of different things, but I just wanted to talk about friendships and the possibility of making sure that you understand that friendships will sometimes fade, and that's okay. And I want you to understand that sometimes we outgrow people and people outgrow us, and that is absolutely okay. So I want to thank you all for joining me on tonight. Hopefully this was helpful. Yes, Mama, I did some of the things that I said that I did. And it just happens. It just happens. So in the meantime, until I see you all the next time, I'm going to say, as my sister Cynthia says, good night, grandstanders, and I will see you all on the next time. Good night, family. Make sure you share the live. Absolutely share the live. I appreciate you all. And I want you all to have a blessed week. I look forward to seeing you all the next time. Good night, everybody.